Hello student. In last lecture we have discussed the syllabus of the second year third sem, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss the detail of that particular syllabus. We are going to start the topic, that is plant water relation, which is included in our unit number 1. So today we are going to start the paper, that is plant physiology. The number of that particular paper is BOT 312. Then it is the core course of our syllabus, and in this plant physiology we are going to discuss various topics, and from these various topics we are going to start today the first topic, that is the plant water relation. Under plant water relation, this unit is having diffusion, osmosis, plasmolysis and imbibition. Along with these, the water absorption and ascent of sap, that is nothing but the how the plant absorb water and transport it to the different part of the plant. Along with that, transpiration is there. Then the stomatal structure, stomata, and the mechanism of opening and closing of the stomata is also included in this particular parameter. Now, plant water relation. Now, as we know that water is the most essential requirement for the growth of plant. Not only for the plants, we can say for the different organisms, water is the important factor, and that's why water is known as the universal solvent, which is having the high capacity to solve or dissolve the different solutes. So, as we know that plant is also having the requirement of this water. Now, as the animal will drink the water with their different mechanism, likewise plant also absorb the water, utilize this water, and this utilization of water by plants is nothing but the plant water relationship. Now, in this plant water relationship, we can say that water is absorbed by root hairs cell through the process like imbibition, diffusion, osmosis, which occurs subsequently. It is not the common process, or we can say either imbibition, either diffusion or osmosis occurs, and due to these processes water is absorbed by the root hairs of the plants. So now the water which is available in the soil, that we called it as a capillary water, this capillary water is utilized by these particular plants by the process like imbibition, diffusion, osmosis. So any one of these particular process will goes on, and the plant will absorb this particular available water. Now water passes through this epidermal cell to the cortex region, endodermis, Casparian strips, pericycle, and then it will give on to the protoxylem, and from this xylem it will transport to the different parts of the plants. So this is nothing but the overall absorption and transportation of the water by the plants. So plant which utilize this water from the soil is known as the capillary soil. So capillary soil is absorbed by the plant and then it is transported to the different parts of the plant. So this particular parameter, plant water relationship, is also required to understand the process like osmosis, imbibition, plasmolysis, diffusion, as this process directly or indirectly related to the absorption and removal of the water from the plant body. Now first of all we go through these particular terminologies. Now when the root hair cell absorb water, it becomes turgid. So the cell of that particular plant or root hair become turgid, and then the water will transported to the different parts through the xylem. Now diffusion. Diffusion is the net movement of anything from region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. For example, atoms, ions, molecules, energy. This will always transfer from higher concentration to lower concentration. Now in this particular figure you can see the dark blue color structure is given. This is nothing but the higher concentration of the particular solution, we can say a particular parameter, we can say. Now this arrow will shows us the movement of the solutes from this higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. So the bit in between these two parameters, you can see there is availability of the semi permeable membrane. At the end of this diffusion process, the concentration of two different regions is same or it is similar. So here also in this diagram you can see the concentration of side 1 and side 2 both are having the similarity. It is due to the process known as diffusion. Now moving to the next, that is osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of solvent from region of lower solute concentration to the region of higher solute concentration through the semi-permeable membrane. Now this is exactly opposite, we can say, to the previous one, that is diffusion. But here most of the important thing is water molecule we can consider. So water molecule will move from lower concentration to higher concentration, so that the concentration equilibrium of this different place is to be maintained. Now in this what happens, the dark region is the higher concentration and the faint region is the lower concentration. So solute will move from the lower concentration to higher concentration, so that the equilibrium of this particular solution is maintained or it is same in the both region. So this process is known as osmosis. Now moving to the next and most important parameter, that is or terminology which is used in plant physiology is plasmolysis. Plasmolysis is defined as the process of concentration or shrinkage of the protoplasm of plant cell, and it is caused due to loss of water in the cell. Now here you can see the first cell is shown, that is the normal cell where the water concentration is equal, water concentration is having the satisfaction. Now what happens, this in second part you can see the cell starts to plasmolized. In this plasmolized cell, the water concentration from the internal parameter is moving to the outer side of the plasma membrane. So at the end of plasmolysis, the cell or the protoplasm of the cell will become shrinkage, and this process is known as plasmolysis process. Plasmolysis is the process in which cell lose water in hypertonic solution. The reverse process, deplasmolysis or cytolysis, can occur if the cell is hypotonic solution, resulting in lower external osmotic pressure and no flow of water into cell. So there will be two terminologies, plasmolysis and the another one is deplasmolysis. So plasmolysis occurs when the when the cell is in a hypertonic solution, whereas deplasmolysis will occur when the cell is placed in hypotonic solution. So plasmolysis is the shrinkage of the cell, and the deplasmolysis will, the osmotic pressure will change, and due to this osmotic pressure the cell become turgid. So this is nothing but the plasmolysis. Moving to the next most important terminology of the plant physiology is imbibition. Now the process of absorption of water by solute substance through their surface is known as imbibition. Example of imbibition is the swelling of seed. When we put the seeds in a soil or in water, that we called it as a imbibition, or that is caused due to the process known as imbibition. Or when mature seeds are soaked in water at room temperature, they starts to swells due to the process known as imbibition. So imbibition is the most important factor, or we can say process, which takes place in nature for the germination of seed. So these are nothing but the different parameters or different terminologies which is generally used in plant physiology. Revise this or see this particular video 2 times to understand the concept related to osmosis, diffusion, plasmolysis and imbibition. Thank you.